With her in the league, 5 games into it, we sold more merch than us all of last year. No matter how we feel about the attention she's getting, our is being sold. People are watching us now. The fact that she's making the league more popular for the masses, it's benefiting you guys. Everyone's a sold-out arena seeing that. The girls who are actually playing, we get to see you now. She can't sign every deal, so that means it has a trickle-down effect, right? Every loaf of bread she gets, some slices is coming off. Someone has to get that slice. Before there was no loaf. There was crumbs. Loaves are coming now. Be excited.
The WNBA is experiencing an earthquake, a phenomenon shaking its foundations, selling out arenas and dominating headlines like never before. And the epicenter has a name, Caitlin Clark. She's not just a rookie, she's a revolution, pouring gasoline on a league ready to ignite. The numbers are staggering, the buzz is deafening, and the money is flowing like a broken dam. But beneath the celebration, a dangerous question whispers, is this explosive growth building a stronger future for women's basketball, or is the league becoming dangerously addicted to a single star? Is Caitlin Clark the WNBA's savior, or is she inadvertently exposing a fragility that could crack the entire enterprise? We're diving deep into the chaos, the cash, the controversies, and the high-stakes gamble the WNBA is taking right now. Teams are literally fleeing their own homes just to accommodate the pandemonium Clark brings. Forget intimate arenas. We're talking full-blown migrations to NBA palaces. The Dallas Wings were set to host the Indiana Fever in their usual 7,000-seat College Park Center. Cozy, right? Not anymore. That game got yanked and moved to the 20,000-seat American Airlines Center, home of the Dallas Mavericks. Why? Because 7,000 seats wouldn't hold a fraction of the demand. The moment Fever tickets drop, they vanish faster than free courtside seats, and Dallas isn't alone. The Atlanta Dream ditched their 500-seat venue for the massive 16,888-capacity State Farm Arena for their home opener against the Fever. Officially, it was blamed on a scheduling conflict. Unofficially, everyone knew the score. Social media instantly branded Clark the walking scheduling conflict. A meme that perfectly captures the league-wide scramble. The Las Vegas Aces, the reigning champs, moved their Fever game from their 12,000-seat home to the 18,000-seat T-Mobile Arena. The Washington Mystics followed suit, shifting their matchup to the cavernous Capital One Arena. It's unprecedented. Entire franchises are rearranging their seasons, disrupting their routines, all bowing to the gravitational pull of one visiting rookie. This isn't just adjusting logistics, it's a fundamental shift in how the league operates, driven by a force it can barely contain. But the rescheduled games are just the tremor before the main shockwave, the money. Get ready for Clarkonomics, because it's rewriting the financial rulebook of women's professional sports. The economic impact isn't just noticeable, it's seismic. Reports claim Clark's presence generated a jaw-dropping $36 million economic surge for Indianapolis alone in her rookie season. Think about that. One player transforming the financial landscape of an entire city. Across the league, ticket prices on secondary markets have skyrocketed, sometimes reaching thousands of dollars for games featuring the Fever. Forget finding cheap seats, finding any seats is a battle. Merchandise? Clark's number 22 Indiana Fever jersey became the top-selling jersey ever for a draft pick across all sports within hours of its release, selling out almost immediately. Websites crashed under the demand, and the eyeballs, TV ratings for Fever games, and WNBA broadcasts in general have seen exponential growth. Networks are fighting for broadcast rights, advertisers are lining up, and games that might have once been buried on obscure channels are getting primetime treatment. One valuation expert cited in the original transcript estimated Clark was responsible for a staggering 26.5% of all league-wide WNBA activity in 2024 tickets, merch, ratings, clicks, everything. Let that sink in. More than a quarter of the league's entire economic engine powered by a single player. For every 6 tickets sold anywhere in the WNBA, one was reportedly driven by her presence. This isn't just fan excitement, it's a fundamental restructuring of the league's value proposition driven almost entirely by one name. It's an undeniable gold rush, a tsunami of cash washing over the league. But every gold rush raises the question, who truly benefits and what gets left behind in the flood? While arenas sell out and league coffers swell, a strange and potentially damaging side effect is emerging, the erosion of home court advantage. Traditionally, playing on the road means facing hostile crowds, unfamiliar rims, and a psychological disadvantage. But when Caitlin Clark comes to town, that script gets flipped. Sold-out arenas are indeed packed, but often they're filled with fans wearing Clark jerseys, cheering for the visiting Indiana Fever. Opposing teams find themselves playing in their own buildings, surrounded by cheers for the competition. Imagine the psychological toll on players hearing thunderous applause for the opponent making a shot in their house. Fans of the home team might find themselves drowned out or even unable to get tickets to see their own squad because demand, driven by Clark's appearance, has priced them out or sold out the venue entirely. Is this still fair competition, or has the WNBA inadvertently turned itself into the Caitlin Clark traveling showcase, where every other team is merely the opening act in their own city? This imbalance doesn't just affect the scoreboard, it potentially warps the fan experience and undermines the very identity of the home teams, reducing them to supporting players in a narrative centered entirely elsewhere. This intense focus has also led to scrutiny on the court itself, sparking heated debates about how Clark is being handled physically.
Landed
The
a major
spotlight
brand
on
deal
Clark
with
isn't just
Athleta,
bright,
one of
it's
the hottest
scorching,
women's fitness brands in the
magnifying
game.
every single
She said the
interaction on
partnership was a
court,
perfect
and lately
match,
that focus has
empowering
zeroed
women,
in on the physical
giving
nature
back,
of the play she faces. Incidents involving hard fouls, shoulder checks, and off-ball bumps have become viral moments dissected frame by fans and analysts alike. The infamous foul by Chennedy Carter, where she hip-checked Clark to the floor before a dead ball, ignited a firestorm. Was it just aggressive defense, standard welcome to the league treatment for a hyped rookie, or was it something more resentment, targeting, an attempt to intimidate the player soaking up all the attention? Players across the league face physical play, but the lens on Clark is different. Every bump seems amplified, every hard screen analyzed for intent. This puts Clark in an incredibly difficult position, navigating not only the expected challenges of adapting to the pro level, but also dealing with a level of physical scrutiny and resulting media frenzy that no WNBA rookie has ever experienced before. It raises questions about player safety, officiating consistency, and the underlying tensions that might be simmering beneath the surface as veterans grapple with the unprecedented hype surrounding one player. While Clark navigates this intense pressure cooker, other players are finding ways to carve out their own space in her orbit, proving the league has more to offer. Even within the massive shadow cast by Clark, other stars are demanding their own share of the spotlight, demonstrating the depth of talent in the WNBA. Leading that charge is Angel Reese, Clark's fierce college rival now starring for the Chicago Sky. Their rivalry brings built-in drama and media attention, but Reese is building her own formidable brand. Her defensive tenacity is undeniable. She was named the Defensive Player of the Year in the high-profile Unrivaled Offseason League, dominating the boards and anchoring her team's defense. Reese is everywhere. Interviews, highlights, endorsements, proving she's a star in her own right, bringing her own passionate fan base and charisma. Then there's Sophie Cunningham, formerly of the Phoenix Mercury, who made waves not just with solid play, but with savvy self-marketing. Her viral Bikini Cowgirl photoshoot generated buzz, and her candid comment about being Clark's Sabrina Carpenter, the supportive opener to the main act, showed remarkable self-awareness and confidence. She understands the moment and is leveraging it. Lexi Hull of the Fever embodies a quieter hustle, landing a major deal with Athleta, aligning herself with female empowerment while showcasing her personal style and banking significant earnings from off-season play. These players, and many others like Chelsea Gray, Nafisa Collier, and Aja Wilson, are proving that while Clark might be driving the bus, there's a whole roster of incredible talent ready for the spotlight. Their emergence is vital because relying solely on Clark paints a worrying picture for the league's long-term health. The dizzying success and attention surrounding Caitlin Clark mask a potentially fatal flaw in the WNBA's current trajectory: the extreme risk of overdependence. The league appears to be betting almost everything on one player, a rookie navigating immense pressure. But what happens if the gamble doesn't pay off? What if Clark sustains a significant injury, sidelining her for weeks or months? What if she hits an extended shooting slump, struggling to live up to the near-mythical expectations placed upon her? What if the constant, relentless scrutiny simply becomes too much? Right now, the league's entire marketing and growth narrative seems inextricably tied to her. There isn't a clear, visible plan B. Who steps up to carry the promotional load if Clark falters? This isn't just about one player's performance, it's about the structural stability of the league's current boom. Building an entire ecosystem around a single unproven entity, however talented, is inherently risky. It's like constructing a magnificent skyscraper on a foundation designed for a single pillar. It might look spectacular for a while, but it's vulnerable. The WNBA is walking a tightrope, hundreds of feet in the air, mesmerized by the view, perhaps without fully considering the consequences of a fall. This gamble isn't just financial, it affects the entire ecosystem of players and the league's ability to cultivate its next generation of stars. The challenge now facing the WNBA isn't just managing the Clark phenomenon, it's strategically leveraging the unprecedented attention she brings to elevate the entire league. Is the WNBA doing enough to spotlight its other incredible athletes? While players like Reese Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Diana Taurasi are undoubtedly stars, does the current promotional blitz actively work to broaden the focus beyond Clark? Sustainable growth requires building multiple pillars, cultivating numerous stars who can share the load and capture diverse segments of the audience. Relying on one supernova, however bright, risks burning out the Clark's phenomenon prematurely and failing to build lasting connections between fans and the league's rich tapestry of talent. The goal should be for the Clark effect to act as a gateway, drawing new fans in, who then discover and become invested in other players and teams. If the league focuses solely on riding the Clark wave without actively building the infrastructure to support and promote its other stars concurrently, it risks missing a golden opportunity to establish deep, widespread fan loyalty that can outlast any single player's career arc or popularity cycle. It's about turning this moment into a movement, not just a moment centered on one individual.